What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. My name's Pat Moriarty, and today's episode will be about surfing in Bali. What is it actually like? Before we get to those topics, I want to show you guys this photo from my YouTube studio right here. As you can see, 95% of my watch hours are coming from people who aren't subscribed. So if you're one of those people who watches my videos and hasn't subscribed, if you could go ahead and click the subscribe button. It's an easy way to support me, and it's free on your end. So let's do it. Welcome to Pat Moriarty Surf. I'm no professional surfer, just a dude who loves the sport. In this channel, I'll provide you with educational, entertaining, and relatable surf content. Subscribe to support the dream. Okay, today's episode will be live from my bed here in Bali. I'm really hoping to get a desk set up in my next location. But for now, we're working with a little freestyle here. Anyway, getting to it. So, surfing in Bali, what is it actually like? So, Indonesia is every surfer's dream location. The combination of consistent swell emanating from the Arctic Circle and pristine coral reefs that shape some of the best waves in the world has made this the destination to be for surfers for the past 40 to 50 years. Indonesia gets swell year-round, with the peak season being from May to September, because we have these winter storms that form off the southern tip of Antarctica and send waves to West Australia and then Indonesia. The swell is sort of choppy as it passes through the West Australia region and then is able to clump together through the Indian Ocean. By the time it hits Indonesian, these swells are super well groomed with tons of power and very neat and orderly. Pros from all over the world descend to Indonesia during these peak months. However, the low season here in Indonesia is perfectly suitable for us mere mortals, including myself, and I'm sure most of the people watching at home. October to April is considered the wet season, where you have your occasional rainstorm here and there. And there's smaller swell in the water because you don't have those massive winter storms coming from Antarctica. However, I would not let this deter you from making the trip to these islands. It is a beautiful place, and you can catch good waves year-round. Now, I want to talk about surfing in Uluwatu. Uluwatu is the capital of surf in Indonesia, and it's gained popularity due to an incredible strip of waves along the west coast, including Uluwatu, Padang, and Bingin. These three waves are all high-performance waves. If you look at Uluwatu can handle nearly any size swell. It works from 2 feet of swell to 40 feet of swell, while Padang and Bingin are known for their perfect barrels and super fun rides. These spots start to work when Uluwatu gets about 6 to 8 feet of swell. And once it gets about 6 to 8 feet of swell in Uluwatu, you'll have about 4 to 5 feet coming through Padang as well as Bingin, and those are really the spots to surf. Let's talk about Uluwatu as a town, as a surf town, and now as a city. Uluwatu is filled with surf shops, cafes, restaurants, and even nightclubs. However, it wasn't always like this. Let's turn the clock back to 1972 for the discovery of Uluwatu, a surfer's paradise. In 1972, due to the making of the film Morning of the Earth, created by Albi Falzon and David Elphick, these were guys that came to Bali. They were initially shooting in the Kuta area and then discovered Uluwatu. And they found Uluwatu as just some of the most perfect untouched waves, as you can see. Locals in the area actually thought that there was mean spirits out in the sea and you shouldn't go surfing. However, the foreigners came here, they saw the perfect waves, and they took advantage and went surfing. At the time, there were no roads leading to the beach, so the walk down to Uluwatu now is a series of steep steps. Well, none of that was there. These guys had to bring all their surfing equipment and a camera crew, and it took them hours to get down from the cliffs down to the beach. Steve Cooney was the first person to ever surf the wave, and it was captured on film in the morning of the Earth, and he was only 15 years old, surfing Uluwatu by himself. What a cool story. However, since then, the race was on and development in this part of the island has ran rampant. Bali is no longer a tropical island belonging to wildlife and the monkeys, but instead it's turned into a bustling city with luxury accommodations, constant construction, and delicious smoothie bowls. If I can't do a good job of editing this clip, you could probably hear construction going on right outside my accommodation. Now, this brings me to the next topic, is how do we make surf development work for everyone? Now, I'm a product of the new age of surfing where everyone with an internet connection essentially has the opportunity to live by the water, go surfing, and teach themselves how to surf. You don't need to be born on the North Shore of Oahu to be able to improve your surfing and become a better surfer. I'm a product of this. I have benefited from the build-up of the surf industry and the ease of access it provides for new surfers. It'd be a contradictory for me to stand here and take the position against any surf development, as I myself have benefited from that surf development. And additionally, it's one of my life goals to help more people get into surfing, so making these on-ramps into surfing easier for everyone is a win-win in my opinion. However, how do we structure surf development in a way that benefits the locals, maintains the integrity of surf destinations, and allows for tourism? So in my experience seeing these surf towns and how they develop through the years, I've sort of determined this is the course of action that we see. First, a surf town is discovered by surfers. Surfers go there by themselves and they get along fine with the local community, and there's not much besides the locals and then a few surf hostels that pop up. Next, the town is accommodated for not just surfers, but surfers and their friends and family. In this stage, we may see a nice restaurant and cafe or two. We may see a yoga studio start to pop up. These are the initial signs of a growing surf development. Next, where Uluwatu is and all of Bali is at this point, is the town reaches mainstream through business growth, word of mouth, and now through social media. In this stage, people flock to the surf town who have never surfed before, but instead want to join in on the good vibe. They see that real estate prices have been skyrocketing. They see fancy restaurants there. And we see this today in a place like Uluwatu, where it used to be locals and then some surfers would come here who knew about it. Now surfers make up a small percent of the people here, and it's mostly travelers interested in other things, interested in seeing the beaches and getting massages and eating smoothie bowls. And now there's nothing wrong with that, but that's just the way of development in a surf town. And essentially the reason behind this, so if we think about business development in these prime areas, there's sort of this cheat code in the economy where you can come in with Western money and you can buy land here for cheaper than you would, say, back in the US or Europe or any of these places. Additionally, you can hire labor at a very cheap price, and then you're able to charge essentially Western prices. Every cafe and restaurant in Indonesia is filled with a ton of staff, and the minimum wage in Bali is 2.9 million IDR per month, which comes out to only 185 US dollars. So we see this gap in the economics where you can buy land cheap, set up a business cheap, pay your workers cheap, and then charge full prices to Western tourists. Now, this begs the question, is this just the natural order of things, or is there a better way to do this? To be honest, I've seen this as just the natural order of a globalized economy and how these towns tend to develop. The result of that development for a surfer means crowded waves. It means a crew that is not necessarily too surf-centric, but interested in other things. And this is just the reality of surfing in Bali now. With that said, Indonesia is a string of thousands of islands with top-tier waves along so many islands. And if you search hard enough and you're willing to put in an extra day or two of travel, you can find some uncrowded waves and score the surf trip of your life. So by no means is this a video meant to bash on Bali, although this is the new reality in a place like this, and it's been the case for the past 10 to 15 years, so this isn't breaking news or anything like that, but just wanted to give you my opinion and my thoughts on the matter. And leave a comment in the description with your take on things here. Let me know if you guys live in surf towns where development has been essentially handled in the right way, or things like that. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on Pat Moriarty Surf.